Hey Queens, so I'm back on my back deck, well underneath my back deck actually, and we need to talk, okay? Cause I just read You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow, and I have some thoughts. First of all, I actually wrote this down. So first of all, I love the book. It's beautifully written. I'm not gonna put this right there. First of all, it's beautifully written. I'm just gonna read off the paper, okay? So it's about a girl and her brother who's addicted to drugs, and so he goes. Sorry, there's a bird nest over there. So he goes to rehab, but then he relapses, and it's this whole thing. There's so many details that I can't articulate verbally. Anyway, for me, the addiction aspect of it didn't speak to me so much as describing how she described the social hierarchy of middle and high school. While the addiction thing was the whole idea, that ocean analogy where every clique is a different underwater species was beautiful. It really, for me, it really was. There was a bumblebee. For me, it was relatable because it's right, and the ocean analogy was just so perfect. I really don't want it to sound like I'm completely ignoring the addiction part of it, because it's a very real problem that affects not just the addicted but also their family and friends. I like that the book was written from the sister of the user, because it really highlights how much it affects people, how much it really affects people. Over 20 million people in the US suffer from addiction, but it's really more than that if you think about their family and all that fun stuff. I said this already, it was beautifully written, and I read it in 2 days, which is crazy for me. As soon as I finished it, this is actually so funny, because as soon as I finished it, I was sitting in our basement, and I pulled out my phone and texted my best friend, and I quote, "You'd Be Home Now is probably one of my favorite pieces of literature ever. Perfectly sums up the social hierarchy with a beautiful ocean analogy and sheds light on the very real problem of addiction. 10 out of 10, will now recommend until the day I die." Oh, and the details about how adults listen but don't really listen is perfect. It's relatable in a way that made me anxious to see what happens next. So yeah, it's this whole thing about drugs and family, and it's such a good book. And then I read the author's note, and if I remember correctly, it said that, actually I can check. I'm pretty sure she said she's been in recovery for 13 years, which it made me cry. Yes, I have been in recovery for nearly 13 years at this point. She was the perfect person to write a book that advocate, is that the right word? Cause it's fiction, right? But it's also not, because it's a real problem. I'm sure this book is on Book Talk, okay? I saw it on YouTube, and then I found it at the library, and I was wait, I'm gonna read this. So I read it in 2 days. I know this book already has so much recognition, but I just wanted to it's so good. Thank you.